Hello YouTube, welcome to episode number 51 of Poker with Kids. This time we've got three events, one from the QPC February, one from the Czech Poker Championships in April, and one from the Australian Poker Tour also in April. Just before we get to the poker, quick announcement, we actually have, we're now Poker with more kids. I actually had a young son born in March, so now have three little ones running around, so well, not quite all running around just yet, but yeah, now Poker with three kids. So not sure if that'll mean I got that much time for poker content, but we'll see how we go. But anyway, on to the poker for this episode. First tournament off the deck is the February 2022 QPC WBT League Quarterly Poker Championships, and this time I managed to play one event, the Royal Holdem, and let's jump in with a bit of a mid-tournament update and see how I did. Here we are with the various crowds at Seagulls for the WBT League's Quarterly Poker Championship. This is actually on break in, I believe, a flight of the main event, and over there was where the Royal Holdem event was being played. But yeah, this is the usual event, back to Tweed Heads for this one. So back to the regularly scheduled program for WPT this time around. This is their upstairs area. They tend to have some of the more bigger buy-in events and dealer run events up there, and here's the start stack for the Royal Holdem event. Everybody, welcome to Poker with Kids vlog number 51. This time we're at the QPC WBT League Quarterly Poker Championships. This time we're actually back at Seagulls Club Tweed Heads. I'm playing the Royal Holdem event, and we're on our first break, and you know the game is good when some of the things happen that I've seen so far. The one hand that's stood out so far, there was a, I think it was limped 5 ways or whatever on the flop, pre-flop. Flop was King Queen 10, and one player bets out 2,500, gets one caller. The turn is a 10, check through, check. River is another 10. And it goes check. First player that bet the 2,500 rolls over ace jack for a straight, and the second player mucks his hand. It is physically impossible for him to have a hand that is worse than a straight in that hand. If he has obviously a 10, he's got quads. If he has a jack and any other card, he's either made a full house or he's made a straight if he's got ace jack, and ace jack would just turn over. Okay, I have a straight as well. He has a queen, he has 10s full of queens, he has a king, he has 10s full of kings. If he has an ace and any other card, again, he either has a straight with ace jack or he has a full house or quads with ace 10. So yeah, and that guy's actually the chip leader at the table. He's managed to have aces in the first 2 hours. He had pocket aces 5 times. The best hand as far as the pocket pair that I've seen is actually pocket 10s. I haven't seen any, I've seen the one pocket pair, pocket 10s. Best hand apart from that has been a few ace king offsuits or an ace queen suited. I'm sitting a little bit below starting stack, but the game is good. The players are somewhat below par, and I can't pick up hands. And like I said, the one hand I've actually picked up was ace queen. The flop was like ace jack, bet the flop, got called, queen on the turn, bet the turn, and the guy folded. And of course he goes, I thought you might have had ace jack or pocket jacks. I said, no, I had neither of those, but I would have been happy if he called. And I had no idea what he had, and I think obviously I had him drawing dead on the turn, but I think I might have had him drawing dead on the flop. It's that good a game. But we'll see how we go, and hopefully a more positive report before the tournament ends at hopefully at next break. So keep the updates coming, hopefully. Here's a stack on break, and the hand that we'd rather not see. Another tale of woe and a poorly played hand to bust out of the tournament. Having said that, here's WBT League. They do things like trophies very, very well. That's one of the strong points of their events. They've got even a suitcase full of cash, briefcase full of cash, and the rings that go with the trophy. So you not only win a ring, but a trophy, as well as obviously first prize money for whatever event you win, if you are able to win. Did manage to get to the second update, as I seem to have a habit of doing. Played one hand horribly. Pocket kings, raised pre-flop, got like 3 callers, 4 ways to a flop with an ace on the flop, and Genius Me decided to put in a bet with a gutshot. I think it was ace queen 10, and put in a bet, and of course I got 2 callers who both have aces, and I didn't hit a king, didn't make a straight, and go on. So the habit of finding a way to stuff up a decent tournament continues. So no cash for me, but big thanks to those poker players who actually helped me out after the event. I'd actually managed to get my car stuck in the car park at Seagulls, what's called the car park, the grass bog area. Turned out with the heavy rain that it was a lot sloppier and a lot slipperier and slidier than you would normally expect, and I actually managed to get my car bogged. So thank you to those poker players that helped pull the car out, along with a couple of others that also got stuck in the same sort of situation. But yeah, that was my February QPC run and done. Next event we're off to is the Czech Race Poker Championships, this time the Win the Button event. Starting stack there. Started off pretty well. Started to chip up and made a decent start of the event. Here's some of the looks at the Acacia Ridge and the setup there with various tables, players, all that kind of thing. Nice little setup that they've got there at Acacia Ridge with the Czech Race Poker crowd. And that's actually part of the tournament. Here's the trophies. Again, poker ones, they always seem to do nice trophies. And here's the chip stack at roughly the high point of the tournament for me, and the not so high point as we got to later on. Did manage to chip up a little bit, but as we'll see, didn't quite go far enough. Okay, we're on the break for the final table at the Acacia Ridge here, the Czech Race Poker series that we're running. Basically just played the one event, been busy with family commitment, so got up here for Sunday night or Sunday afternoon, played the Win the Button event. We're now down to the final table. Had 19 entries and 9 re-entries, so 28 entries for a prize pool in the 1800 ballpark. They haven't actually put up the prize pool yet, but I imagine it would probably be top four paid, given maybe top 3, but I imagine probably top 4. I'm sitting with a probably average-ish sort of stack around the 75,000 mark. Basically, the big hand that really got me going was when I got it in with a combo draw on the turn at the 300-600 level. Had Queen Jack of Hearts, flop was 10 high with a flush draw, 10 high with 2 hearts, 995, 9-5 hearts with a pair of 9s. Offset 10 on the turn, and I made the flush and removal with the 4 of hearts, and obviously double up against the player who had top pair. So that was the big one that got me going. It's been a bit up and down. Really a real variety of players. A couple of players that you can tell really haven't played that many tournaments. A couple of players that the whole win the button strategy and the importance of position. You can tell there's a lot of people that really aren't taking that into consideration. And to be honest, I haven't really played too many, made too many sort of speculative plays. Or there are a couple of times where I have sort of gone, okay, it's folded to me on the, like I won the previous hand, folded to me on the button, and I've got sort of a ace high king high hand, and I'll sort of obviously raise and pretty much c-bet any board, but be willing to get rid of my hand if I haven't actually made anything on the flop, if I get sort of a bit of pressure back. So see how we go. So yeah, final 9, I would imagine top 4 paid. So see how we go. But yeah, Czech Race Poker, win the button. Mid-game update. And here we are at the final table. I was actually one of the shortest acts going into the final table. Lost a few players early, but yeah, update. And another story of what could have been. Done the walk of shame, busted out in 7th. Final table, they ended up paying 860 up top with 350 going to 3rd place. Bust that hand, as usual, I find a way to misplay something on the final table. So yeah, I'm in hijack. Faults to me. I looked down at pocket 7s. Blinds are 2.5, 5k. Big blind actually sitting with 12.5k, who's actually the partner of the player in the small blind. I decided to raise to 12k. Button folds. Small blind calls 12k, and I'm expecting the big blind to go all in for 12.5, and I'll just, okay, we're throwing the extra 500, and there's, one player all in, and there's a potential for a side pot. But she folds. So we get a flop, and it is Queen 9-9. Of course, with a pair of 7s, I'm going to make a c-bet after it's checked to me, and my opponent calls the 12. And then, but if you think about what he's calling me with, obviously a queen or a 9 are definitely hands he could have. Jack 10, some kind of, straight draw 10-8, king 10, something along those kind of lines. Definitely possible as well. I think they'd all call that flop, and ace on the turn. So I think basically I'm going to get rid of, it checks to me. I decided to shove for around 50k that I had remaining, and of course my opponent snap calls, which is not what I want to see, because I think at the very least with the queen he's got a decision. So I think he's either got Jack 10 and is going to run with the hand, or he's got a 9, and unfortunately for me he has a 9, and he actually has 9-3 suited, 9-3 hearts, and obviously I don't hit a 7 on the river, and I'm gone. But yeah, I think I really obviously misplayed the turn. But yeah, just looking at the obviously a 9 is one of the very reasonable hand for him to have when he calls the flop. So I think check back turn, and if he's going to put in a bet on the river, I think I just have to fold. I think that would have been the in hindsight, and I think in the moment it probably would have been a better option, just check turn with looking at check fold as my line for the river, unimproved. Which I mean, I'm only improving on the 7, so the fact that he's called, I mean, it does leave me open for the potential for bluffs there, but one of those boards where with a paired board and an unpair, I think there's not a lot I can really do, even though I do have position. So 7th place, no money, heading home. But yeah, that's me done at the Czech Rays poker event here at the Acacia Ridge Hotel. And here's the final results. The guy who actually knocked me out was the eventual winner, and here we are with the final table photo. And the 3rd event that we're looking at for this vlog is the Australian Poker Tour Pineapple event at Southport Sharks. Here's the start stack and a mid-tournament look at the chip stack. Bit of a look around the venue at Southport Sharks. Always a nice venue, really nice playing venue there. Plenty of tables, plenty of space, and lots of players there. That's the main playing hall. The event Pineapple was actually winning one of the side areas, but always a nice venue there at Southport Sharks. That's their final table setup with live streaming and hole cards, and here's some action. Big update here. It's actually we're out of the Pineapple of the APT. This is the Gold Coast series at Southport Sharks. Probably going to be the only event that I play in the series. I'm actually busy on the weekend, actually doing my other job, running a chess tournament Friday to Monday. And Dad, I'll be in on Thursday for something. I would have potentially liked to play the shootout, but I don't think I'll be doing that. So yeah, play the pineapple. This time, just regular pineapple, so that's a pre-flop discard. 42 entries and a few around 20 rebuys. So they were paying 61 entries all up, I believe was the number. Ended up paying top 10. Interesting decision to pay that many. Thought they might sort of stop at 8 or 9. But anyway, paying top 10. Ended up finishing about 19th. Ended up with a reasonable start. Got up to basically double start stack, and then just picked up nothing with players raising in front of me, and yeah, just literally had no spots. Eventually got to a hand where in the cutoff there was a limp in front of me, and I looked down at 10-10-3, so I was going to discard the 3, show with pocket 10s with 20,500 at 1,500, 3,000 blinds, and it then gets called by literally everybody else in the hand. The hijack button, small blind, actually no, I was in the cutoff, apologies, cut off the button, the small blind, the big blind, and the limper all call. So a massive pot would have been looking at over 100,000 and well and truly back in the game, but not a favourable run out with an ace, a jack, and a king all on the board. Turns out that the winner of the hand actually had queen 10 offsuit to make the nut straight. There was a potential flush on the river, but the called by pocket kings, which made a set on the river. So I was well and truly in trouble there in that hand. So really picked a bad time to shove. But yeah, not a bad game. Again, I think players are making mistakes, which is where the games you want to play in. Non-Holdem games tend to be the ones where they made mistakes. I think Crazy Pineapple was probably one where players will make more mistakes. This one, it's effectively, how do I turn 3 cards into a Holdem hand? So not that many mistakes, but still I think people are still making some mistakes, which makes a good game to play in. Having said that, the one thing that I found really confusing in how it was done was how players were, given it's a pre-flop discard, I think how it should work is wait until the action's on you, you make your decision, put your, if you are, let's say, calling or raising, you put your chips in, and I think it should happen that everybody discards at the same time it's still in the hand. But what was actually happening is at random times players were throwing in their discard, so that they were getting down to their two-card hand, and then you have players that, there were a lot of times where you had players that put out 1 card to discard, still hadn't actually acted in terms of the chips. The next player acts as then thought, oh, there's cards in front, therefore they're folded. I'm going to say, call or raise or whatever they happen to do. And the other player in between is like, well, but I haven't actually done anything yet, which is where it gets a bit confusing at times, but everybody kind of dealt with it. But I think it could be, the procedures I think could be simplified to actually make it work a bit better. But with a self-dealt game, it's a bit tricky. Anyway, no cash for me. They were just about to break down to the final 2 tables, but alas, I was not to be on them. Finish in about 19th place. So reasonable run, but not what we're looking for. So yeah, that's APT. As usual, looks like a pretty good setup here at Southport Sharks. They've got all their tables. The one thing that is a little bit lacking from previous series is the merchandise stand. Looks like it's basically just t-shirts this time, and no other bits and pieces like chips and cards and other sort of poker paraphernalia, but it's basically just t-shirts at the moment. And how they've got it all set up, there's actually rather than going into the club and then around to the side where the function area and they've got the poker on, they've basically just sent you through one of the side bars and so good in a way, but yeah, also makes it maybe a little bit confusing if you're not familiar with the layout of the place. But having said that, I did discover this area where I'm actually filming this one, which is the old teams of Southport Sharks. So it's a nice little area where they've got a bit of club history. But anyway, that's my my one and done for the APT Gold Coast, and I guess that's going to wrap up the vlog if I actually get around to making it. So yeah, no good for me at Southport Sharks. Finish off with the future, apparently, of the Southport Sharks precinct and some adjustments to their fields, and the obligatory shot of the shark tanks at Southport Sharks. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and hope to see you for another video in the not too distant future.